When you stop caring about what they think about that for a minute. So yes, I'm referring to the person that you are considering, yes, the narcissist. One of the main things you were doing when you were trapped in that narcissistic abusive cycle was you were thinking about what they were thinking about. Remember, they had you trapped in that narcissistic fog, maybe even the trauma bond. And what you were doing is you were doing whatever they wanted you to do. What you didn't realize is that it would never be enough. You could do whatever they told you to do, but that endless to-do list would only grow longer and longer and longer. And it would never be enough for the narcissist, no matter what you did. It won't ever be enough. Whatever the new supply does, it would never be enough whatever anybody did for this parasite. Having said those things, what you would be doing when you were in the relationship, when you were working, when you were driving, when you were checking your phone, when you were trying to relax, when you were cooking, when you were cleaning, when you were picking them up, when you were taking them home, when you were doing anything you were doing, even when you weren't with them, you were thinking what they were thinking because you were trying to please them. Now, I just said a whole bunch of wisdom right there. You need to play that part of the video and play it again and again and again. The narcissist brainwashed you. Any way you look at it. You could look up the definition of brainwashing. I am certain you will find many characters of the past who were quite good at it. The thing is the person that you're considering is on par with those people. You may think, whoa, that's a little rough. Well, guess what? Whoa, it's true. The only difference is the people, example, Charles Manson would be one of them, and Jim Jones and other people like that from the past. And I'm not even talking about parasitical Ponzi scheme creatures like Bernie Madoff and others. Those people were in the limelight. They were in the news and people were talking about them. Your ex or the person you're considering, nobody's talking about them because no one cares but you. Tough pill to swallow, but it's true. You need to understand something. I am here to support you. I am here to help you out, but I will speak the truth. And the truth is something that very few people ever want to hear. Now, tying it all back together, as the thumbnail mentions, when you stop caring about what they think in reference to the narcissist, that is liberating for you. That is freeing. That is when you're on the path to understanding that that person never loved you. They certainly never cared about you. They tried their best to destroy you, your life, your hopes, dreams, your aspirations, your goals, your relationships, your health, your money, your purpose, your clarity, your mindset, your future. And they tried to rip the soul they tried to rip the soul out of you. But guess what? They failed. They couldn't do it. And the reason they couldn't do it, and notice how I fumbled or stumbled through those words right there. The reason I stumbled in real time, of course, there's no script, as some of you narcissistic people continue to think that there is one. Well, you probably should look elsewhere for someone who is using a script. This guy isn't, because I lived it. And I beat all you narcissistic freaks, every single one of you. And guess what? I'm paying it forward to help other people defeat you. And it is working. Having said that, I fumbled my words because, yeah, that was almost taken from me. But it wasn't. January 6, 2021, a very pivotal day for me. It's come to light over the years that other people had different experiences on that day, unbeknownst to me, because I was too busy trying to save my own life. And I did it. Now, having said that, when I put myself back together, and it took time, a lot of time, but when I did that, I realized that it doesn't matter what the narcissist thinks. They're the last person on the planet that you should be giving attention or energy to. Now, again, it's not that easy, specifically if you're caught up in the trauma bond, or if you have tethers that are still connected to them. Maybe you have children, or maybe there's 401k or house or assets, or you're married, whatever it was. I get the whole thing. You're going to have to focus on yourself, learn to control what you can control, and eventually cut the ties. Those 4 ties that must be cut, and now I'm hearing other YouTubers copy my 4 ties, which is great. I don't care how the wisdom gets out, as long as it gets out in an empathetic, kind, loving fashion. If you're using my content and you're using it to harm people, shame on you. Shame on you. Getting back off the soapbox and back on track, the 4 ties are the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual ties. They must be cut. Nobody will cut them for you. Nobody can cut them for you. You need to cut them yourself, which is what I did. And that's why I can help you and will help you, and I am helping you. And I've been doing it for over 5 years by creating videos and content to help you get closure, to help you get answers to the questions that you may have, and many of which you will never even have, because I'm doing the research for you. I'm doing the deep dive for you. Example, before you started this video, did you realize what narcissism was to this level? No, you didn't. You just learned multiple nuggets of wisdom. Before you figured out what my channel was, did you know what gaslighting was? No. Did you know what narcissism was? No. But you're here. You're getting your cup full. You're getting stronger than you ever thought possible. The clarity is arriving in your mind, and you're beginning to realize it doesn't matter. Whatever the narcissist is thinking is what they're going to think. And if they can't think of, or if they can't come up with some dirt on you because they couldn't, what will they do? You got it. Ding, ding, ding. They will create a smear campaign. That smear campaign that was swarming all around you started way back when? Way back probably when you first met the narcissist. Was it that very first day or moment? No. But it was shortly after they figured out that you had something that they could take from you and that you had no idea who they were and that they could destroy you from the inside out. That's what they tried to do. There's a old adage in Greek mythology, the Trojan horse. I've referenced this for years on the channel, and I'll do it again. What was the Trojan horse? It was meant from a gift from one camp to the other camp, two opposing camps, and my mind is drawing a blank now on what they were, but whatever the Romans and the Greeks, whatever it was, no disrespect, but whatever it was, the gift was a horse, a wooden horse, and the enemy was hidden inside the Trojan horse. And the person or the people who thought that the Trojan horse was a legitimate gift opened the gate, and next thing you know, their whole village, town, or culture was dismantled from the inside out. That's what the narcissist does to people. They can't do that to you any longer because you have the wisdom. That's why you have to close the chapter of the book on this person once and for all. That's why you can't give toxicity any energy. That's why you need to maintain your boundaries and let your boundaries do the talking for you. That's why you need to realize that your silence does the speaking for you. And that's why you need to realize that it doesn't matter whatever the narcissist is and or was thinking about. It's only to appease their tiny little pea brain. They don't care what any one person thinks at all, as long as they are controlling that person. Once that person breaks control, like I did and you have, or you will realize that there's nothing to the narcissist. Remember, I'm giving you a lot of examples here. Remember in The Wizard of Oz, at the very end, Toto pulls the curtain back on the wizard. And who is the wizard at the end of that movie, The Wizard of Oz, that I believe came out in my favorite year, which was 1933. We're coming up on that in 7 years. That was a short little chubby guy who was harmless. He was worthless. He had no power. He had nothing. All he had was the levers to pull and the buttons to press and the knobs to twist. And that's how he was controlling everybody in that movie. And that's what the narcissist is. They're shallow. They're hollow. They're cowards. They're bullies. There's nothing to these people. The only thing the narcissist does is mimic back or regurgitate back what other people have told them from the past, or any ideas that they've heard that they could twist and make their own to create an illusion for the trap that they're setting for the new supply, which is akin to the trap they set for you. Think about all the sob stories that the person you're considering told you. They didn't have a proper upbringing. They didn't have proper parenting. All their exes want nothing to do with them. They can't fall in love, or no one cares about them, or they couldn't get money, or they have such a rough childhood, or they have ABC or XY, whatever they have. These are all sob stories. Now, are some of them legitimate? Yeah, I'm sure they are. But do you go around broadcasting all of your misgivings and your problems? Of course you don't. I don't either. You don't need to, because you're authentic and genuine just like I am. What does the narcissist do? They need supply, they need adoration, they need accolades, and they need a supply or fuel source. And how do they do that? Just like honey to a fly, or whatever that expression is, or honey to a bear, whatever it is, I don't know what the expression is. They lay the traps. And once the traps are laid, they don't care who falls into them. Of course, they're vetting multiple people at any one time, and they do want to go after certain types of people. But at the end of the day, if the narcissist is without supply, grade A fuel source supply, they don't care. Any supply will do. Anything at all. Picture your gas tank in your car, and you should be going electric. If you're not, you will, whether you know it or not, you will very soon. But your gas tank in the car, well, it probably takes a certain kind of gas. Maybe it's extra lead or high lead, or I don't know what these things are, diesel, whatever the different types of gas there are these days. The narcissist doesn't care what kind of gas that they put in their tank, as long as it gets them for the next 10 seconds of their life. They literally don't care. That's why the narcissist needs supply. What is supply? As I've shared, it's an airplane, it's being hung up on, it's a phone call, it's a gift, it's returning a gift, it's a silent treatment, it's gaslighting. The narcissist does not care if they get negative supply or positive supply. They prefer negative supply in my book. I will never change my mind. And you may say, what's the difference between negative and positive supply? Sure, positive supply is, example, you're going to a graduation, or you're going to a wedding, or you're going to a event or some kind of celebration. It's supposed to be a happy, joyous, celebratory occasion, right? Well, that's supposed to be positive. And then when you went there, you were probably really happy for the person who was having the ceremony, and you were probably grateful to be participating, being one of the people who was attending. That's not what the narcissist said. They said, oh, it's someone else's big day. Let's see what I can do here to turn some attention or turn the spotlight on me. And you know what happened next. That's positive supply, or it could be negative if they actually ruin that person's wedding, as the example. And negative supply is nasty, it's toxic, it's evil. And this is what the narcissist enjoys more, because if they could take somebody like you, a beautiful, bright, shining light, and turn you inside out, and now you give up on life, now you give up on hope, now you give up on love, now you give up on empathy, now you give up on getting out of bed, you give up on fighting one more minute of your life, then there's your negative supply. You see, they've just stolen everything out from underneath you. And when you quit, and you don't quit, I didn't and I won't, and you can't and you won't. If a person were to quit due to the narcissist, and before you, many people have, of which you will never, and I mean never hear about, because they're not around to talk about it, if you understand what I'm talking about, and I'm going to reference January 6, 2021 that I shared with you earlier in the video. You should really be focusing. Everything's tying together in this video. Everything. If you play it and play it again, you will see where I'm leaving the Easter eggs. You will see where you can pick them up, and you will see how everything, and I mean everything, is connected on this planet. But having said that, the people that aren't here, they can't tell tales about what happened to them. I was almost one of those people. I'm not. That's why I share it each and every day and create videos to pay it forward to help you out. But understand something. The narcissist knows what they're doing. The narcissist also knows that they're evil. They also know that they don't care about people. They also know they need a mask, and they also know that they need supply. Without supply, these people are worthless. They're sinking ships, they're ticking time bombs, and they will have to look inward, and it won't be a pretty sight. Why? You know, because each and every one of these people becomes, say it with me, ding, 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 they become the aging narcissist. And the aging narcissist is not, and I repeat, not a pretty sight to see. Stay away from these toxic energy sources. Stay away from darkness. Stay away from evil. Stay away from anybody who appears to be too good to be true, because that's what the narcissist is. So going back to the thumbnail, why when you realize it doesn't matter what they think about or what they think, I'm referring to not only the narcissist now, I'm referring to everybody, and I do mean everybody. And you may say, whoa, what do you mean everybody? Think about this. When you were at your lowest point in life, who was there to help you out? Probably nobody. Maybe a few people, I can't tell you. When you go to bed at night, think about who is there to comfort you. It's you. When you wake up in the morning, who brushes your teeth? You. When you go to work, who works for you? Nobody. You could say, well, AI and bots are doing it for me now. Yeah, well, that's a good point. But for the meantime, you're going to work. See, you have to do things. That's why I create videos, to motivate you, to help you out. At one point, I too was broken. At one point, I was left for dead. At one point, I was discarded. At one point, I did not know what narcissism was. But I fought tooth and nail for 3 weeks. And I figured it out. I cracked the code approximately 3 weeks after the discard. And when I figured it out, I dropped to my knees. I wailed like a school kid, and I could not believe that that's the relationship I was in. I couldn't believe that a person could do what they did. I was shocked. I was dumbfounded. I was stunned. I was frozen. But guess what happened? Over time, I thawed out, I healed, I focused, I replenished, I rebuilt, and I turned all that negative energy that was dumped into me at the hands of the parasitical creature, the narcissist, and I turned it inwards. The rest is history. Here I am in a place called the mountaintop of indifference, the pinnacle of indifference. That's what this is. See all that beautiful, lush greenery? And no, it's not a green screen. See this beautiful white shirt I'm wearing? See the positive energy and hear the birds chirping? This isn't AI. This is a real person who made it out of hell in one piece. And yes, I went to hell and back multiple times, and I made it out. If I made it out, you can make it out. You need to believe in yourself the same way I believe in you, if not more. And what you need to understand before I close the video, because that's my cue, you can probably hear it, is you need to understand people are going to think whatever they think. You cannot change their minds. Actions speak louder than words, and the narcissist is a master manipulator. You need to stay away from these people as far as you can, and you need to close the chapter of the book on these people as fast as you can. If you think for a minute that the narcissist cares what you're thinking about, you would be wrong. If you think for a minute that the narcissist ever cared what you were thinking about, you would be wrong. If you think that the narcissist cares what anyone at all ever thought about, you would be wrong. The narcissist is a snake oil salesman. They're a used car salesman. They're a grifter. They're a Ponzi scheme artist. They are nothing but a sham artist. They're nothing but a person who's trying to steal, to rob, to be a thief right out from underneath your nose. What the narcissist does is they look for targets. Once they find a target, after vetting multiple targets at any one point in time, they zoom in on one. They want to get that one trapped in the narcissistic fog, maybe even the trauma bond. Once they get that person hooked on them, then they begin to pull back, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, which is why nobody, and I mean nobody, is immune to toxicity. Nobody's immune to the narcissist, and nobody, and I mean nobody, can ever, ever put their guard down even for 1 second. That's why you need to understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and there's no room in your life now or ever for toxicity. Understand that the narcissist painted you black a long time ago. You are not going to be painted negatively ever again by anybody that you care about. Play that part and play it again. You won't be painted negatively about anybody that you care about ever again. The reason I said that is because you now have vetted people, whether you know it or not, and I'll prove it right here. When the smear campaign was well underway, all the people that drank the Kool-Aid of the narcissist vetted themselves. You didn't even have to do it. They showed you who they were. And a lot of those people removed themselves from your life. Yes, some of those people are casualties of the relationship. Others were toxic. Any way you cut it, those people are long gone. And believe me, they will get what's coming to them too. Not at the hands of a human, but believe me, their life has probably already gone sideways multiple times, different capacities. And no, I don't wish ill will upon anybody. The second thing is this, is once you figure it out, you cracked the code, you found the needle in a haystack, then you vetted people yourself. And that's why you are as strong as you have become. And that's why you are stronger than you know. And that's why you need to understand it doesn't matter what the narcissist thinks. They're going to paint a narrative however they want to do it. Your job, your goal, your future, your purpose is to stay away from them, block them, get off the radar of them, if not now, when. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. I love you. I'll talk with you tomorrow. It's loud. I'm leaving. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. Bye.